Namaste. Welcome to this 30-minute practice, and a fairly gentle one at that. We'll focus on sort of refreshing the spine and the hips with some gentle but nice and kind of nourishing movements for those areas. So let's start in the back, shall we? Supta Baddha Konasana. Knees open, feet to touch. Let's meet there. Lying down on the back and bringing the feet to touch and letting the knees out to the sides. And just sort of allowing for the body to settle into stillness here. You might bring the arms out next to you and really turn the palms to face upward. Just taking the first few moments to establish a comfortable position. And then, as you shut down the eyes, take a long and deep breath in. A relaxing breath out. And let the back of the body start to really get heavy into the floor. The shoulders, the hips, the ribs. Start to take on the quality of listening with the mind. So opening and broadening your awareness to absorb more information. And of course, you use the sense of the ears to listen, but see if you can absorb the environment around you. So you notice the temperature of the room, the sounds that are going on, whatever sensations that are there coming through your five senses. Even noticing this kind of blackness at the back of the eyelids and how it's kind of mixing with light trickling in. And so there's this interest in this moment and what this moment has to offer. And it's that quality that we take inside of the body. To start to listen and broaden awareness within the body so that we're sort of open to receiving information about the body. And with that, you take that information and utilize it to assist in your sense of well-being. Knowing when you have the opportunity to sort of challenge yourself a little bit more, and when you just might have to pull back a little bit more and conserve some energy. And so to help out creating a foundation of physiological stability, turn your attention towards your breath. Start to feel the breath, and then start to deepen your breath. So as you breathe in a little bit more fully down to the belly space, let that expand up into the chest. And take more time to slow down your exhalation, drawing it out of the body much slower. And then just organizing your breathing into a steady pace. Breathing in deeply and breathing out slowly. And as you find this steady pacing on your breath, it creates this kind of bedrock of stability. It becomes the focal point for the practice where the breath is the highest priority. And then second to that, we start to build some postures around the breath. And so as you're finding this gentle flow and movement in your breathing, we'll try and synchronize that with some movement of the body and create a really nice internal coherence. So as you're ready, keep your breath flowing and start to draw your knees up in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze and possibly come towards happy baby when you can. So grabbing the outer blades of the feet and having a little bit of a pedal and a kick of the legs. Just taking another breath or two here. And then placing the feet down onto the ground for a few rounds of rolling bridge. So as the feet come down, tilt the tailbone up and lift the hips towards the ceiling. And then lowering back down nice and slowly. And then carrying on just with that. Lifting the hips as you inhale. And then lowering the hips as you exhale. So squeezing your glutes to initiate that movement, tilting the tailbone up as you lift, and then lowering down as you exhale. Keep on going, a few more. The key aspect of this movement is to synchronize the movement and the breath. That's the idea. Just take maybe 2 more. Getting some heat through the glutes and aspects of the core. And then next time your hips come down to the ground, find figure 4. So place your right ankle onto your left knee and grab a hold of your left leg. So maybe you're grabbing the thigh, maybe you're grabbing the shin, threading the right arm between the gap of your legs, and be quite gentle, I think, to begin with here. Not pressurizing yourself too much. Just a gentle, nice little opening on the hip, on the glute. And just take 1 more breath here. And now keeping the rough shape of the figure 4, drop the legs over to the left into a twist and let the left knee, or the right knee rather, be drawn down towards the floor, maybe with the left hand. And opening the right shoulder really broadly to the side, stretching the arm nice and wide and open. Just take 2 more breaths there. And then coming back up through to center and going on to the other side. So the left ankle on to the right knee into figure 4. And then hugging the legs in. Squeezing in. Just a couple of breaths. Nice and gentle on how deep you're squeezing in here. More than anything, getting a feel for the hip, being informed through the sensations. Just 1 more deep breath here. And then taking the legs over to the right now into a twist on the other side, roughly with that figure 4. Again, the right hand now can guide the left knee a little further down if you want, but also opening your left shoulder quite broadly to the side. So you get that nice long line from your left hand all the way down through the side body, through the hip and into the leg. Just 2 more breaths there. And back up through to center. Hugging the knees in towards the chest and rock yourself up to a seated position. Roll over the knees and come into cat-cow. So onto all fours, into tabletop. And once you've hit that position, move with the breath again. So an inhale to press the belly down, puff the chest forward and look up. And then exhale to raise and arch up through the spine. And then we carry on. An inhale to press the belly down. And an exhale to arch up through the spine. Again, fluidity and consistency is the key. Inhale to dip, exhale to arch. So not about how flexible you are or how mobile you are, but how engaged you are in your mentality towards the body, how nurturing your mindset is, how caring your mindset is. And that's firstly symbolized and practically done through the breath. Just a breath or 2 more, a round or 2 more. And then with a great deal of ease, tucking the toes and lifting up the hips into down dog. So not pushing the back of the legs at all, but as you lift up the hips, sort of pedaling them out, swaying the hips a little. Again, all these initial positions, just getting a bit of a feel for the body, noticing what's going on in the body. Each posture brings emphasis to different areas of the body to work with consciously. Just take 1 more deep breath here.
And then starting to walk your hands back towards your feet at the back of the mat into a forward fold, and really just letting the whole upper body hang here. Let your shoulders relax, let the knees bend a little more. And you could sway some body weight from left to right, from side to side a couple of times here. Just maybe 2, maybe 3 more breaths. And really gently rolling up your spine through to standing, reaching and stretching the arms up to the top, reaching up nice and high, stretching, and then catch the hands behind the lower back now. Roll back the shoulders, and with a big bend in the knees, fold forward again, lifting the hands up over the head, dropping the shoulders slightly away from the ears here. And just 2 more breaths, pinching the shoulder blades. And release. Hands come to the ground. Walk the hands out to plank position, shoulders above your wrists. Find that distance and then lift the hips back up into down dog and carry on for a couple more rounds of rolling plank. Forward and back. A few more rounds. Your own breath is carrying the movement now. In high plank, really try and round your upper back. So it's like you're pushing your spine up between your shoulder blades. Create a nice kind of turtle back. We'll just take 1 more round, forward and back, getting some heat into the shoulders. And this time as you come forward into high plank, drop your knees to the ground and then lower the chest all the way down until you're flat. Once you're onto your belly, take the hands off the side of the mat, lift the chest up into cobra. Exhale to lower back down. A few more just like that. Inhale to lift, and then exhale to lower. Keep on going. Your own breath is now setting your pace. So consistency and synchronicity, again, the key. Try and press the feet into the ground and keep the thighs fairly engaged. And take maybe just 2 more rounds here. Legs strong, spine fluid. Last round, lift and lower. And as the chest does come down, push back through to tabletop, into all fours. Now pause in tabletop just for a moment. Lift your left knee just for a moment, and then cross it over the back of the right leg, crossing up the calves, and then send the left leg back. So your right knee is forward, left leg is back. It's something like half pigeon, but not quite. We're just getting a feel for the hip a little bit. That's it, just a breath or 2 here, sort of rocking a little bit from side to side. Nothing too strenuous, nothing too severe. And then back into tabletop. It's a really short stop there. Lifting the right knee now, crossing it over the left calf, and then sending that right leg back. Send it back, and I've got the left knee poking forward, just sort of rocking a little bit into your left butt cheek. A couple of breaths here just to sort of feel out what's going on in the hip. Breath or 2 more. And yeah, back into tabletop, all fours. Back into downward facing dog as well. Tuck the toes, lift up the hips. And now walking gently towards the top of your mat. Feet coming up towards your hands. A big bend in the knees there. Rolling up the spine through to standing. Reaching up and stretching up nice and high. And then folding straight back down now, and it's going to change there. So just a little lift of the chest before you step your left foot back into runner's lunge. Puff the chest out on fingertips, and then raise the right arm up into a twist, simple twist. An option here to drop the back knee if you want to take it just a little bit more supported. Otherwise, go ahead and wrap the top arm behind the lower back. Do your best with that. Roll back your right shoulder and keep your back leg really stiff and strong. We're only here for 2 more breaths. Thighs super engaged at the back there. And then go ahead and lower the back knee to the floor. Take both arms up towards the ceiling, reaching up nice and high, nice and tall. Bend your left elbow behind your head. Left elbow, right hand up on top of that elbow. And as you start to lift the chest a little bit more, maybe start to lean to the right, just a touch into a bit of a side bend. The hand pulls over the elbow. Just here for 2, maybe 3 more deep breaths, but see if you can keep squeezing your left butt cheek here, your glute. 1 more deep breath. And then into a twist. So hooking your left elbow around the front knee, hands coming together. You might poke your right elbow right up towards the ceiling so you can kind of push straight down into the left hand. And the chest might lift up a little bit there as well. Option to keep the back knee down or option to lift the back knee up for a little bit more intensity and balance. Both are great. You choose and take just 2 more big breaths. Releasing the hands to the ground, and then wherever you're at, raise the front foot up and out into 3-legged dog. Bend at the knee, tilt the hip up and open, nice big lift. And then gently doing your best to step your right foot back between the hands for runner's lunge. In this shape, puff the chest out on fingertips, and then very lightly lift the hips as you straighten the front leg and fold. We'll do it 2 more times. Bend the front knee, puff the chest out on fingertips, and then straighten through the front leg to fold. 1 more, lunge, puff the chest, and exhale to the fold. Now we're going to add a little bit more to this for a few more rounds. As you bend the front knee, reach your right hand forward, and then up into a twist, and then out the same way we came in. Reach forward over your head and sweep the hand down to straighten the leg. We'll do it 2 more times. Bend the knee, reach forward and up, and then forward and down to fold. Do it 1 more time. Lunge, reach, forward and up. Do your best with that. I know it's a little bit coordinated. And then forward and down to fold. Now this time, keep the hands down and simply step up to the top of the mat. Feet to meet each other. Take a halfway lift, flatten out your back, and exhale to fold forward. Inhale to stand up, reaching up for the ceiling. Try and squeeze your butt as you lean back just a little bit, and then fold straight back down. And we'll do the other side. So now the right foot stepping back, left hand raising up into the twist. So back knee can be lifted, or the back knee can be down. Either way, take the top arm and wrap it behind the lower back, sort of turning back the shoulder a little bit more, keeping the front knee above the ankle here. Maybe 2 more deep breaths. And either way, back knee to the floor, arms coming straight up into low lunge. Now before you go anywhere, try and squeeze your right butt cheek, your glute, and suck the belly in a little. Now the right elbow bends behind the head, left hand up on top, little more lift on the chest before you lean to your left. Just a little, just very mild. Kind of sucking the belly in as well. It's a little tricky to breathe deeply and suck the belly in, but definitely possible. So not 100% squeeze, not the fullest breath, but somewhere in between both. We'll just take maybe 2 more breaths. And then into the twist. So taking that right elbow and hooking it around the front leg, hands coming together. Again, the left elbow pointing up towards the ceiling really enables you to push down into the prayer and therefore deepen the twist. But I think lifting the chest just a touch seems to organize the lower back a little bit better. And then we'll take breath here, a couple more, keeping the kind of squeeze on your right butt cheek happening as well. Again, you're welcome to lift up the back knee, but I might leave it down for this round. A couple more deep breaths here. And yeah, that's enough. Release. Hands on the floor. So 3-legged dog. This front foot lifts up and out. Bend at the knee. Tilt the hip up and open. Nice big lift. 1 more breath here. And then do your best to step the foot back between the hands or somewhere close to that. Once you're there, puff the chest out on fingertips, runner's lunge. And then almost lifting the hips a little bit more to fold and straighten through the front leg. Now 2 more of these. Bend the front knee, puff the chest out and inhale. Exhale to fold as you lift up the hips and take the hips back. Again, lunge, move forward. Exhale to fold and lift the hips. Now this time, come back into the lunge and reach the left hand forward, and then rotate up, and then again, reaching forward, and then sweep the hand down to straighten through the front leg. It's a little tricky, do 2 more. Bend the front knee, reach forward, and up, and forward, and down to fold. Last one, reach, lunge, twist, and exhale, reach forward, and fold. And this time you're stepping up. Feet together, top of the mat. Halfway lift, flatten out your back. Exhale to fold in. Inhale to stand up, reach for the ceiling nice and tall. And exhale to fold forward. If you're familiar with the vinyasa flow and you want to take it, please now. Otherwise, halfway lift and follow me. Step back to plank. Drop your knees. Lower all the way down onto the floor. Lift the chest up just once into cobra, point the toes. Exhale to lower down. Push back through to tabletop, and we'll all meet in downward facing dog. And as soon as you've hit down dog, please come towards half pigeon. Slide your right shin up behind your wrists, up onto the floor. That's it. And as you scooch the back knee back, lift the chest for a moment, and then walk the hands out, maybe down to the elbows, maybe beyond that onto the floor. As an alternative, if half pigeon is just yucky for your body, feel free to be on the back where we started in figure 4. Very much similar dynamics there. But if you're comfortable in half pigeon, you're going to really try and settle into it by relaxing through the upper body as much as you possibly can. So immediately softening the eyes, the jaw, the shoulders. And it's a fairly short practice, so we won't be here for too long. Make good use by really stringing the breaths together with consistency straight away. Relaxing the belly. Probably just 5 more breaths here. Heart rate's a little bit elevated, so we're now taking a little bit more time with the exhale to slow the heart rate down. Tapering off energetically in the practice now. Just do two more breaths here, I think. And then lifting up your chest. Go ahead and swing the back leg around to the top of the mat. Swing it around. And hug the right knee in towards the chest. So the left leg is straight, the right knee hugs in. Now you can either place that foot on the ground or cross it over the left knee. Either way, seated twist. Place your right hand behind your lower back. Raise the left arm up and then hook the elbow around the knee. That's it. So once you're there, lift the lower back again. Lower back. And then roll back your right shoulder. Nice, easy exhalations, relaxing the belly as you exhale. We'll just take maybe 2 more breaths here. Good, and then coming back through to center. Uncross the ankle if it's not already, and then just let the right knee drop out to the side. You might even walk the sitting bones back a little bit to raise up the arms, and then reach as far forward as you can to then fold over your left leg. Pretty much immediately relaxing through the shoulders. Now we can keep a little bit of integrity in the posture here by lifting through the lower back a little bit, but then softening through the shoulders again. So the most sort of sensitive and vulnerable part of this shape is your lower back. So if you're feeling any kind of negative sensations there, and you can just be intuitive about it. If it doesn't feel right, it's not right. So be intuitive, but be aware of what's happening at the lower back. A little bit of a stretch is good, but any kind of jamming or acute pain is no good. So awareness, informing the posture and your adaptation to it. We'll just take a few more breaths here, not so long at all. One more deep breath now. Lifting up the chest. Placing the hands just behind your hips and sort of turning the hands out a little bit, just behind the hips. feet on the ground, reverse tabletop. So roll back your shoulders, puff up the chest, and now pick up the bum from the floor, and you can just sort of hover it there or lift as high as you want to go. Pressing the hips towards the ceiling, pushing the chest through the shoulders, and 2, maybe 3 breaths here. Keep the butt tight, squeezing, squeezing, and release. Coming down. Taking the legs out to the side, rolling over the knees, coming back into down dog. You're welcome to take a flow if you want to take a flow. Otherwise, left shin now sliding up behind the wrists into half pigeon. Lifting the chest and then walking the hands and chest out to bring it down. Softening in there, relaxing through the shoulders. Complete softness through the shoulders. Heavy, heavy, heavy. We've only got a couple more breaths here, maybe a few breaths left. Alrighty, lifting up the chest. Back leg swinging around to the top, nice and gentle, and then left knee just pulls in, kind of hugging the left knee in here so you can lift the lower back a bit more, and then either it stays on the floor or you step it over the right leg. They're pretty similar shapes, and either way, left hand behind the lower back, right hand up, and then a nice big twist, so really kind of taking the belly across the thigh almost as you hook the elbow, keeping the lower back propped up, and then twisting and turning. Almost drawing the shoulders back a little bit as well, so the chest pokes through the shoulders. A couple more breaths there. And awesome. Release. Back through center. We let the left knee fall out to the side, bring the sole of the foot inside the right thigh. Again, walking the sitting bones back a little bit. Arms up, lower back lifts, and then keeping that elongation as you go into the forward fold over the right leg. And then I think once you're established at the bottom of that fold, then just a little extra lift through the lower back again to then relax the shoulders again, the neck, the eyes. You kind of sweeten up the breath there a little bit. That sort of pleasantness coming to the rate of your breath. So it's not being held, it's not being restricted. It's flowing gently and easily, and that's just all over, influencing the whole experience of the posture. Through the breath, influencing the mind, influencing the body. Focusing your efforts and energies there. Totally relaxed through the jaw, the neck, the shoulders. 2 or 3 more breaths here. Inhale, lift up the chest. Welcome to intensify reverse tabletop with reverse plank by keeping both legs straight. I'll go through that, but it's really the same dynamics with bent knees. So up to you, hands just behind the hips, roll back the shoulders, point the toes if it's straight legs, or place the feet on the ground. Either way, scoop the tailbone forward as you squeeze the butt and lift the chest. Push the chest through the shoulders, hold, breathe. 2 more big breaths here, belly in, butt strong. And release. Coming down, Nicely done. Grab a hold of the knees, bending the knees and rolling down onto your back. Now from here, catching happy baby and kind of just deciding if there's anything else you want to do before Savasana. And a couple of suggestions. You don't have to do anything. As a first suggestion, just happy baby and straight down into Savasana. A twist might be nice, just briefly. Right leg going over to the left. Or even something like bridge, like similar to where we began. So feet on the ground and lifting the hips up, but just sort of feeling out how your body's communicating with you right now in all the places that it's kind of got some niggles and getting organized in the body to encourage a depth of rest. So as soon as you're ready in the next few breaths, making your way down onto your back, you're welcome to take Savasana with your legs up the wall if you're close to a wall. And try and make a mental note in the value of resting. So as you come down to laying flat into Savasana, try to allow for this time and this space to simply be about resting, and it's a conscious rest. This is a special and potent time to rest. It's not a result of exhaustion or tiredness, but rather it's a choice to be here in stillness and not overcomplicate this position with reflections or plans, but simply to embrace the body here in the environment that you've created, a pleasant environment you've created. Genuinely, give yourself a couple of minutes here, as long as you possibly can, really. Make it luxurious and luscious kind of rest. I'll sign off here. It's a pleasure and always an honor. So thank you so much for your support and joining me today. I'll see you next time. Namaste to you.